us as Ravens fans, we know Isaiah Likely is nice. We know Isaiah Likely is reliable. We know Isaiah Likely is clutch. And like I said over the past couple of years, literally the only thing holding Isaiah Likely back from being a top 5 tight end in the league is opportunity. But with John Harbaugh's words recently, could Isaiah be in line to get just that, the opportunity? Now, I know we said all offseason, if Mark Andrews is on this team, do not expect Isaiah Likely to be the focal tight end. Don't expect him to be the number 1 tight end. It's going to be Mark Andrews. But what John Harbaugh said the other day, that really got me to thinking. And I know some of y'all might be thinking, oh, it's just John Harbaugh. He's just talking. But John Harbaugh has shown us recently, he ain't just a talker. And the quote that he said, I want to see Isaiah Likely be an all-pro. Now, I know some of y'all thinking, okay, yeah, of course he would say that. Why wouldn't he say that? He would, of course, want to see Isaiah Likely ball out and whatnot. But him saying that, him being very specific with it, he ain't say Pro Bowler. He said all-pro. And we know all-pro is when you're the best of the best. All-pro is when you are among the league's elite. But if John Harbaugh really wants to see Isaiah Likely do that, then he would have to be out there on the field a whole lot more. And could the Baltimore Ravens possibly be making that significant change in the tight end room, giving Isaiah Likely a lot more snaps than Mark Andrews? It's just a thought, but again, with John Harbaugh saying that, I think it could go down. Reason being, hear me out, because I know you're thinking, oh, please, no, hear me out. John Harbaugh, before, we know John Harbaugh, when he would speak, he's a good talker. He's a great talker. But a lot of people wouldn't be buying what John Harbaugh said because it didn't line up with what the Baltimore Ravens did. Obviously, years way back, when he would speak about injuries, John Harbaugh would be like, oh, somebody's week to week, and they will be out the whole season. And y'all know how it goes. But recently, John Harbaugh has given us every single reason to believe what he says. Think about this. Remember when Marcus Williams, first year that he was a Baltimore Raven, balling out, catching all these picks, catching a pick every week, it seemed like. But then he got hurt. And what did he? He hurt his chest, his pec. He tore his pec. And John Harbaugh was like, okay. He tore his pec. And we know that to be a season-ending injury. But John Harbaugh was like, no, he should be back toward the end of this year. And I was thinking like, Harbaugh, please, man, you just talking. You ain't saying nothing. You just talking. Guess who came back toward the end of the year? Oh, yeah, Marcus Williams sure did. Remember with Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman had an injury a couple of years ago. And Harbaugh was like, oh, he's going to be back at this time. And then there's been other people as well where Harbaugh said something, especially recently with injuries. And Harbaugh has been right on the money. I remember Tyler Linderbaum, I think it was last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago, where Tyler Linderbaum, he got hurt during like preseason or something. And Harbaugh was like, oh, he's going to miss a week or two. And guess what? He missed a week or two. So Harbaugh's words have been lining up. But the most significant thing that Harbaugh has said recently that really stood out amongst anything that he's ever said was last year when he spoke about Lamar Jackson. And I know y'all remember it because this was, I had never, and still before then, I had never seen, and still haven't seen John Harbaugh do it again. I have never seen him speak like that. And I have never seen him speak that intensely about Lamar Jackson. And what was the biggest thing that he said from what he said about Lamar Jackson? Biggest thing he said was, we want Lamar Jackson to be the best. We want to make him the best quarterback ever. And when he said that, there were a lot of fans, from Ravens fans, other teams fans, like, oh, John Harbaugh, yeah, he just saying that, blah, blah, blah. John Harbaugh just, and what did they end up doing last season? Was that not just the best season that a quarterback had last year? And forget that MVP stuff because that shouldn't have gone to Josh Allen. But anyway, it wasn't just the best season that a quarterback had last year. It was one of the best seasons ever. Ever. And John Harbaugh let us know well ahead of the season, we want to make Lamar Jackson the best ever. He's off to a pretty good start. That's why, again, with John Harbaugh, I do believe what he's saying, that he wants to see Isaiah Likely be an all-pro. But in order to do that, he got to get the chance. Will he? I think it's a real possibility now. If you've been injured in an accident, you may be entitled to significant compensation and should take action immediately. DM Law wants you to know that Mike's got this. But what is DM Law? Well, I'll tell you. DM Law is a leading injury law firm in Kansas City and Missouri. Have you been injured? Just turn to the skilled personal injury lawyers at DM Law for the compassionate advocacy that you need. The best part is you only pay if they win your case. You see, at DM Law, every wrong must be made right. DM Law features a large support staff of investigators, case managers, medical record specialists, and more. They have offices in Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Colorado. And they know that times like these can be very stressful and overwhelming, but at DM Law, they want you to know that Mike's got this. Many of their attorneys used to defend insurance companies, so they know how to get the coverage for complicated cases and explore every option. They've recovered over $600 million for thousands of clients. DM Law is willing to take on cases that a lot of other law firms are scared of. They make it their mission to help their clients receive the compensation and justice that they deserve. DM Law understands that injuries can have long-term lasting effects, both physically and emotionally. That's why they strive to not only help their clients recover physically, but also improve their future through financial compensation. So if you want to see if you can get the compensation that you deserve, you can check out DM Law at the link in the caption and in my bio. Speaking of John Harbaugh, good old Nick Wright. He did a top 10 head coach list, and of course John Harbaugh will be on there, right? Well, let's look at this list. And shout out to my guy Kevin Ostreicher for this graphic. This says NFL head coach rankings by Nick Wright. Number 1, Andy Reid. Okay, give it up for Andy Reid. He done won 1 million Super Bowls, done been to 1 million of them too. No problem with that at all. Number 2, Sean McVay. Still, he's good now, but okay, cool. Number 3, Kyle Shanahan. They be in the Super Bowl. Seem like every other year. 49ers be pretty successful overall when they're healthy. It is what it is. Jim Harbaugh at number 4? Really? Jim Harbaugh? Like, the guy who just cannot beat Big Bro, John? At number 4? Like, let me know if I'm wrong, but what has Jim Harbaugh done to show that he's a top 5 head coach in the league? At number 4? I don't know. Number 5, Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin always makes for an interesting conversation because with Mike Tomlin, everybody will always say, oh, he's never had a losing record. And again, that is technically true. But again, all the 9-7s and 8-8s from back in the day, and it's just like, yeah, he has never had a losing record, but especially recently, he ain't been winning too much either. But anyway, it is what it is. Kevin O'Connell, number 6. Matt LaFleur, number 7. 8, Pete Carroll. 9, Dan Campbell. And 10, Sean Payton. No John Harbaugh on this, like, seriously? And I know there's going to be some people in the comment section, oh, John Harbaugh did it. But you cannot with a straight face tell me or tell anybody that on this list that we're looking at, that John Harbaugh does not belong on there. Like, come on now. Like, there's nowhere for him to be. He was an honorable mention by Nick Wright. Nick Wright just got to be trolling. I know he is. There's no way that he believes that all 10 of these guys, some of them, some of them, especially some of the ones at the top, but these 10 guys are all better than John Harbaugh. He ain't better than come on now. Now we don't reach my favorite part of these videos where we get to feature your questions. If you would like to take part in it, send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com, or for the patrons, you can send your question in a DM directly on Patreon. Let's get into it. First question came from my guy, Steven. He said, what's up, Ingraven? What's up, Steve? He said, thank you for all the content you continue to provide every day. Keep up the amazing work, and God bless you and your family. Steven, I love you. I appreciate that too, man. He said, with the question mark now that we have at safety, do you see us signing a vet? And if so, who would you say is the most realistic possibility? Probably somebody like Quandre Diggs. I think Justin Simmons is realistic, but his price, it may go up a bit, especially since Ravens have a need at safety. Kind of, sort of. They could just roll who they got on a team already and be like, you know what, we ain't taking that risk again. But yeah, so I think somebody like Quandre Diggs. I would love Justin Simmons, though. But anyway, he said, in addition, would signing a veteran safety eliminate the possibility of a reunion with JC24? So Jadeveon Clowney. No, because I know that's a roster spot, but at the same time, it's two completely different positions, two completely different parts of the team. So while they do have something to do with each other, especially since they're on the same side, they both on defense, signing a safety would not be like, all right, we signed a safety, so no more Jadeveon Clowney back. But the dream, every day that passes, it dies just a little bit. But again, he don't like training camp, so maybe that's why we waiting. Next question came from my guy JDub. He said, Ingraven, hope you and the family had a great Memorial Day weekend. Do you feel that John Harbaugh and his coaching staff have what it takes to get the job done this upcoming season? I do. Seriously, I do. They had what it took last year. They had what it took they just ain't get it done. They got what it takes again. They got the personnel. The coaching staff got the experience. They got enough talent to get the job done. It's just breaking through, man. Straight up. That's it. It's just getting it done. They got everything that they need, man. He said, do you think Zach Orr as a defensive coordinator can improve from last season? Yes, because now he'll have more consistency and experience. He already showed that he learned a lot from last year. Last year, one thing I loved about the Baltimore Ravens defense is that they made the tough decisions personnel-wise on defense. Obviously at the safety position, but at linebacker too. Remember, Trenton Simpson was a starter before, and he got benched, and that's tough. That's tough. When you got to bench somebody, you don't want to do it, but when you got to make that tough decision and it works out, it's a beautiful feeling, man. Not that somebody got benched, but when it works out. So with Zach Orr now, he got that year under his belt. It started off really shaky, but then at the end, they pulled it together and they were on point. So he got every reason to continue doing just that. He said, based on my previous statement on Lamar's contract, I feel he is more than deserving to a contract extension when it comes to his success and becoming a two-time, should have been three-time MVP, should have been, and hoping EDC can give Lamar an extension. The sooner, the better. Yeah, it's, I mean, he ain't got no choice to. If he does it this year, he can do it this year, cool, but next year, that's when he, like, literally has to, because Lamar, his cap hit jumps up to, like, 74.5 mil, about 75 mil. So, I mean, if you want to try to get by with a 75 mil cap hit, that's all you, but they ain't doing that, so they have to get it done before next year starts. And he said, I really want to see Lamar get his Ravens to a Super Bowl to hoist a Lombardi trophy. Oh, yeah, we all want to see that. And we will see it one day. Hopefully, we'll be seeing it in February of 2026.